Like, what do you have to say for yourself?
My closing thoughts is in no way, shape, or form do I condone any type of domestic violence or abuse,
Fake news.
from male or female. And there are numbers that you can call, and we may place a link at the bottom in this video. So, anybody suffering from domestic abuse or mental health issues, just click subscribe first, and then click the link below.
Yeah, you're a piece of. I want to talk about something else too. Yeah, you're a piece of something. I want to talk about something too. I'm glad we got a female perspective here too that can chime in. That whole, what was that you sent me about marriage?
Yeah, that was crazy. There was a post about marriage. I'm going to pull it up, but it was basically saying men are sort of shying away from marriage because of certain issues. It's like basically
they're losing. Is it the
yeah?
Is it
they're losing.
Okay,
like men aren't really getting
Hold on.
anything out of marriage.
That's crazy because one of my followers actually posted it and I responded.
So it's what exactly does marriage offer men today? Men know there's a good chance they'll lose their friends, their respect, their space, their sex life, their money, and if it all goes wrong, their family, says Helen Smith, PhD and author of Men on Strike. They don't want to enter into a legal contract with someone who could effectively take half their savings, pension, and property when the honeymoon period is over. Men aren't whipping out by staying unmarried or being commitment phobes, they're being smart. Unlike women, men lose all power after they say I do, and their masculinity dies too.
Chris?
The same things that men lose, women lose. Yeah, the same things that men lose, women lose. And it's not just about losses, it's about gains too. I mean, why are you looking at me like that? There's no gains in a marriage? There's no gains.
Listen, can I say this? I think marriage is more so, other than a spiritual thing, I think it's a psychological thing. You know what I mean? Let's say you're living with, like, I'll be honest with you. I'll bring up a personal story real quick. When I first moved in with Mag, we were just together. You understand? That's what everybody do. And I remember when she first caught her root canal. That's not cheap. That's $1,800. So when she told me, yeah, my doctor said 18, I said, well, call your mother up, see what we could do. Of course, she didn't question it either. And it was, her mother was like, nah, well, I ain't got it. Well, I'm looking at like, well, look, her tooth hurt. I'm like, well, listen, because my mind, I wasn't psychologically knowing that I took this woman from her house. Once you take that woman from her house, I become her father, her mother, her best friend, her protector, and her provider. But I didn't look at it that way. Why? Because I didn't do the ceremonial. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I'm going with the whole psychological thing. So it's a spiritual, psychological thing. So I think a lot of people are living together. There shouldn't be no reason, Reg, why you live with your lady and you got to call her to get your phone account at T-Mobile. And she's like, I don't trust you with it. Why the fuck would you be with her, let alone be married? You understand what I mean?
I think we're talking about two different things though. Because, okay, like one, I think this whole responsible for women thing, women can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? You can't want to be independent when it's convenient, but then turn around and like, okay, but you're responsible for me in another turn. You know what I mean? But that's another topic.
That expounds on what I'm saying.
I know, but
psychologically, she's not married
but
either.
Let's touch on marriage first. That has nothing to do with marriage to me, because marriage, first of all, is a business contract. Marriage is business.
I'm tired of people saying that.
Let me tell you why.
Right.
Let me tell you why.
Because if marriage,
technically it's business, because once you enter into marriage, first of all, like legally speaking, like there are business things that transpire. Like for instance, when you get married, you basically take on some of the debts that your partner has.
So
like,
you can't do that without being married?
No, I'm saying legally. Like, say for instance, you got married and I owed for child support. They could take funds from you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Monetary. That's business. You know what I mean? Like, if we break up, when we dissolve our partnership, this is business talk.
That was more or less what
we dissolve. Yeah,
that was more or less why marriage got started.
Now,
more or less,
I think there's a sexist nature to our society, which is a negative and a positive in a lot of ways, where men are viewed a certain way and women are viewed a certain way. Men are viewed as, the best example I could give is let's take a situation where, and this is going to be an extreme, but I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay.
Kobe Bryant is divorcing his wife, right? He cheated on her. It's pretty messed up, so on and so forth. Cool. She's divorcing her husband, right? Kobe's worth, I think, at this time, somewhere around 300 million or something like that.
Right.
She was upset. They did the whole announcement. They did the whole press junket, so on and so forth. Now, Kobe's wife waits 3 years or 2.5 years, about 2.5, 3 years to announce that they're getting a divorce. Why did she do this? Because she was waiting to hit that 10-year mark for their marriage. Because once you hit the 10-year mark, then you could get half, then you could get this, then you could get that in the state of California. This was a business decision. This wasn't an emotional one.
Right.
And now that we're breaking up, you deserve to take half of everything I've earned, not what you need to live, half of what I earned.
Let's
was
talk
she
about an
married?
average marriage though. Most
No,
people
I know.
don't marry millionaires.
I know, but I'm getting to that point.
Okay.
So then let's look at Mary J. Blige. There was a situation where her husband, right? Now, her husband actually was her manager and he basically helped her build her business.
Okay.
But when he was asking for spousal support, and it was nowhere near half of her net worth, it wasn't half, it maybe wasn't even a quarter. Basically, the court of public opinion was like, well, you're a man, you shouldn't need her money, da 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 da. There you go. You basically have this machine that's sexist.
Listen, I'm gonna say,
It's not built for men. There's like housing, there's like low income housing that's specifically for women and children.
as a man, look, not to cut you off, as a man, it may sound weird coming from me, but I think if a woman put in time with you, you understand? Like, so Chris said, you're talking about irregular people. If you got a woman that been with you 10 years, she gave you 2 kids. You know, women could die when they giving birth. You know that, right? So I know that's a little dramatic. But
I got
so
you.
if she put in 10 years with you, she was next to you, by you, you know what I mean, ironed your drawers, fucking jerked you off when you were stressed out. You know what I mean? And then for some reason you guys split up, I think she deserves something.
No, I'm not saying she doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she doesn't, but I'm just saying basically we can't ignore the fact that this is a business situation. People get married as a business. Like legally, there are people
We're in
that pay
agreement.
people.
Yeah.
So now if something happens and I get out of my relationship, okay, I have children, I'm paying child support, fine, right? If something happens and you're getting jammed up and I'm giving you spousal support, there are women that refuse to get married. They have boyfriends, they have living boyfriends for years, but they refuse to get married because then the alimony will stop.
Well, that's a different.
That's a business decision. That's that's a decision based on so now this man is supporting you and your new man till he dies.
So
there are men who go
you
to
disagree
jail.
with that. So you
there are men
disagree
who go
with
to jail over alimony.
We're still not talking about an average marriage.
Right.
We're still talking about people
But
who,
we're talking about millionaires. We're talking about
Right.
if Kobe Bryant lose if he has 300 million and he loses 100 million,
That's a whole different
that
ballgame,
hurts.
though.
But he can still live.
So
now let's talk about a dude that makes $40,000 a year.
Okay.
And now he has to pay alimony and child support. How's that guy surviving?
Well, he wouldn't pay as much as a basketball
Exactly.
player
But
would
he
pay.
still pays a substantial amount. This guy, he's probably going to end up paying more than half because, okay, we get divorced, right? I make $40,000 a year. This is the reality. I make $40,000 a year. So first of all, when we get divorced, you're taking half of my assets, right? So you get half, right? Say our assets total maybe the sum of $200,000, $250,000.
Right.
You take half my assets, right? So as you take away half my assets, after divorce court, you're getting alimony and child support. So not only do you get half, you get to chip away at my other half of the assets.
So what's your end point on the idea? You feel
Because
like it's wrong?
I agree to a degree that in a lot of ways there's no upside for men because you're basically
men,
chaining yourself.
Look, I'm gonna keep sounding
in a
like
situation.
a fucking pastor. Men are fucking important. You understand? Like you said, if you making 40 a year, you separate from the family. That they just took a L.
Okay.
They just took a L. You feel
So
me?
if you have to continue supporting your ex-wife, does she have to continue supporting you?
Well,
So if y'all break up
Me
and
personally, I
she
could
says
get
to the
money.
judge, well, I'm used to him taking care of my hair and my nails and all these expenses, so on and so forth. Can you say to the judge, well, you know what, judge? You know, I'm used to her rubbing my feet after work. Can I still have that?
You know, you're right. You're right.
Can I still have that?
Every Friday, she needs to meet me in the Friday parking lot and give me the best BJ. That's the reason. I'll
like-
give you alimony, but you got to give me a blowjob. I don't care about your husband, your new husband. I don't give a fuck. Like,
I'm not even in the parking lot. I need to be able to knock on your door, walk in, and say, "Sorry,
you think?
excuse me, bro."
So
What do you
why?
think,
So
Chris?
tell me why do men marry then?
Because I mean, there's social pressure. Because part of it is after you're with a woman for a while, it's kind of like, well, you gotta do right by her. She deserve it. Like, come on, man, you gotta stop
depends.
playing games. What are you doing? You're playing games. What are we doing here?
Link,
Where's this going?
Link, why do you get married? Link.
I'm surprised he hasn't chimed in. Maybe he's not connected.
Yeah.
He's
Nah,
not.
because y'all was rocking.
All right.
All
This
right.
guy's jerking off. Listen to him. So tell us.
I think it's a business thing, but you got to think we haven't.
But they're actually biased because when it's
Hold on, Reg,
the
Link
my
might
bad,
talking.
I didn't hear Link.
I think
Go
it's. I personally think it is a business. It is a contract. It is documented that marriage is a contract. I mean, you have to go down to the state and you have to sign a contract. When you look at your marriage license, your names are in all capital letters, which means you are incorporated. So you enter into a contract. However, we're having two different conversations.
Right.
Ralph and Chris, I believe, are. It sounds like you guys are coming from a more traditional spiritual place.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And Reggie and I may lean more towards like the secular or more like of a pragmatic approach to it. You know, just basically like a binary approach to it, like 0 and 1 is, you know what I mean? It is what it is, like it's black and white. So it's really on how like you were raised and what your values are.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I don't say that if you don't believe in marriage, that constitutes a lack of values. I just say what like your values are on how you view marriage. But you and I have talked about this in depth, Ralph, and you actually enlightened me on some things on the spiritual thing. And I grew up in the church, but because you are young, you fly and you marry and you make it look cool, like you've actually enlightened me on some things that you noticed. Like I remember when you hopped down from the podium, like right after you got married, and immediately, like literally within an hour, you said, "Yo, it feels so different, bro. Like it just feels different." And I listened. Like you had an open ear. You know what I mean? From somebody who grew up in like a urban area where it's fuck these bitches, and you know what I mean. You basically like got to mold a chick to try to be the perfect chick, what she'll never be, and
still
then you
fuck
will
these
finally
bitches.
marry her because she deserves it.
No, go ahead. I said it's still fuck these bitches. Go ahead though.
Oh wow! But yeah, so I mean,
Jokes.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I am a romantic at heart, but at the same time, like I mean, like our egos are so like shallow. Like if a man been hurt one time, like it's so hard to get them to come back around.
I would almost equate it to like having a big. Now, don't get me wrong. Marriage to me is a beautiful thing when it works. When I see, for example, when I see like you and Matt, like I've seen beautiful marriage situations. Like my parents. There are situations where it worked, but then like to ignore the fact that it could be weaponized in certain ways, because a lot of it's like you could look it up statistically. Men, even if they make more in the divorce, actually get substantially less because you're expected to go out and get a job. You're expected to go out and take care of yourself.
Because
Right?
that is
And
our
Whereas,
job.
it is.
Yeah.
But see, but we can't have it both ways, because if we're somehow saying that, well, you're expected to go out and be responsible to yourself for some degree, to some degree, but she's not, then we're making a difference in men and
Well, we
women.
have different expectations. A woman is expected to bear children. A woman is expected
But
to be
that's sexist.
mother of a. But it goes both ways. Just like men are expected to protect and provide, be the breadwinner.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. But women have certain expectations as well. So on both sides, there's expectations. They're just different.
Is you could say a man is physically stronger than a woman, so it makes sense for a man to be the protector. A woman has a uterus, so she's expected to give birth. I mean, those are
Okay.
physical things. But now when I'm saying none of that has to do with her ability to go out and earn, you know what I mean? Men definitely usually get less in the
Because
divorce.
I think that whole rule stems from in the past. In the past, the man was the worker, the woman stayed at home. So they never really changed it. You understand what I mean?
So if
They
I
never
have to
changed
pay
that.
more, I don't have a problem with that. But then we have to basically operate in a space where it's like in a marriage, a man and a woman aren't equal. It's either we're equal or we're not equal. We
an
can't have
old-
it both ways.
I think it's an old law that never been changed. Remember, men would go to the military, men would go, farm or
Yeah.
do what they do, and the woman would stay at home. So yeah, if that man left, that woman jammed the fuck up because she couldn't get a job like how, Johnny was the farmer with the big forearms. He get it. You feel me? So now I gotta stop saying you feel me.
Yeah.
But they never changed it. So it's just still stuck for a certain reason. Blink, weren't we talking about that? Why is that still there? Like, I get Reggie's point.
Yeah.
Why does the woman still need to be supported and not the man?
No, I disagree. Both people should be supported.
If a man is a stay-at-home dad, he's looked down on.
This is 2018. I feel like it's more men out here being supported than women.
Okay, that's an urban thing, I feel like, but
no.
But it's
Russ.
looked down on. It's looked down on.
Okay.
It's looked down on. Definitely.
And the crazy thing is, women are actually okay with this. It's almost like a lot of women actually like to have a man that's not doing well or doesn't have a job.
That's
to-
some,
They just settle
That's
it.
some
They're
women. Yeah,
settling.
I think that.
Yeah, that's that baby boy
Yeah.
syndrome.
That's that baby
Right.
boy, yeah.
So like nowadays, it is where a lot of women do support men.
No, I agree.
Yeah. So
But if they got into a marriage,
Mm-hmm.
if she married that bum that was laying on her couch, and then she told the judge, "Yeah, Your Honor, he's a bum. He was a bum when we got married. I thought he was going to get up off the couch. He never did."
Mm-hmm.
The judge is going to be like, "Well, you got to pay that man alimony." The judge probably going to be like, "Yeah, I agree. He's a bum. Kick him out." But then if a woman comes with that same sob story, "Well, Your Honor, he took all my best years and." I couldn't work because he took care of me. I'm used to not working, and that's an argument. It's like, Your Honor, I've spent so much time out of the work pool. I can't possibly go get a job because he spent all this time taking care of me. All I could do now is be taken care of. This is an argument in divorce, and many judges agree. Like, well, I mean, she's right. What are you gonna do? And then boom,
I
there
think,
you go.
I think the further we get into it, it's gonna come off as sexist because everybody's playing this whole equality game now.
I
You know what I'm saying?
believe.
Yeah.
If anything, I'm a feminist because I believe men and women. Okay, there's some physical differences, but I believe anything a man is capable of doing, a woman should be able to do.
Right, so
Which means,
Reggie's feminine, so he knows. So
all right.
Wait, you're Reggie
Oh,
saying
dear.
the feminist?
yeah, Reggie's
you said Reggie was
no,
feminine.
Reggie's feminine. He said. He just said.
No, I
that.
said I'm a
It's
feminist.
recorded, it's documented. He said he's
Nah,
feminine.
I got a theory about male feminists.
All right.
You got a theory.
All right. I'm sure you do.
Expound, debauchery.
A male feminist is just a dude trying to mold his way into some pussy.
Factual.
Just trying to get low hanging.
Chris, have you ever met any male
and
feminists?
have I ever met any male feminists?
Sister, with your beautiful hair.
I don't
You
think that's a
have the
feminist.
hair. I hate them. I hate them niggas.
Why?
I think those are the-
They be in them comments.
Wait.
They be in the
Yeah.
comments like sister.
Yeah.
The way
Stay
you
beautiful, queen.
you are beautiful.
yeah, why
So
not? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
That's
Get
the
out there.
sleepwalk. That's the sleepwalk. You
Stay
kidding
beautiful,
me?
queen.
They scare me.
Beautiful queen, you are so
Those
radiant.
guys are scammers.
The way you bent over in that bikini shot, sister.
You are so radiant.
That peach, when you bent over in that video on Instagram, I seen that peach. That's a God-given peach, sister. It would behoove me to bite that in
Earth
between
Queen.
that. You
Yeah.
Earth Queen, 5% of Illmatic Illuminati. Get the fuck out of here. Get all the way the fuck out of here. It's the sleepwalk. It's the sleepwalk. Don't ever.
He
That's
fit in the
it.
gym you up.
That's his play. Don't ever.
Listen,
don't
I
ever.
never buy into it. It's just that whatever.
Alright.
A compliment is a
sounds
compliment.
good.
Exactly.
What do you
Sound
like-
good. That's
what
it.
do you like better?
Thanks.
A
I like
dude-
the comment and say thank you.
Would you like better do that shit straightforward, a straight shooter? Like, listen, I want business with you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Or do you like the sister? I think I should drop you off home.
I prefer a
'cause I
straightforward
do-"
guy.
Yeah,
Tell me what
right.
it is. Tell me what you want
Right,
to do.
right.
Yeah,
Listen.
absolutely.
Listen, hey, Reggie, which one are you? are you feminine? What are you? Are you a straight shooter?
No, I'm a straight shooter, but at the same time, like
Pop
I
that
think,
pussy.
I
Nah,
think that
that's Reggie right there.
I think
know.
experience over time. No, if you're honest with women, when certain women fuck with it, it's better. I think the lie is usually what pisses women off, where they feel stupid or they feel like fools. That's usually when they put like candy bars. That's a new thing. Someone put me up on it. They put candy bars in your tank now, so it messes up your engine over time. Just stay woke. Anyway,
Yeah.
like I think that's when your windows get busted and then she rolls up on you trying to, you know what I mean? I think when a woman feels stupid or she feels cheated, that's when the foolishness happens. But if you're honest and she knew what it was, I mean, she could be tight. You can't, but she can't. You know what I mean? The reaction isn't going to be as crazy.
If a girl fall for the fucking 5% Illuminati guy, whatever Mason lines, she wanted to. She was desperate. She wanted to. You know what I mean? But
let me ask Chris a question. Chris,
Yes.
as a woman, right? If you are opposed to something sexually with your partner, right, and your partner is in favor of it, how can your partner get you over, like, to his side? Like, how can he try something that he's wanting to try, or try?
I
like,
know
a
where this is
fantasy, or
going.
try-
Wait,
let him finish. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lane.
or try like a fantasy or something that he wants to try. And we're not talking about nothing. We're not talking about a 10 on the wild, freaky, crazy scale. We're saying something that you just, you've never done before.
Give me an
but,
example. So what? Like my partner, let's say what wants to have like a
like,
threesome or something.
Let's say golden showers, because threesome is a bit extreme. Let's say a golden shower or anal.
Wow.
A golden shower.
That's pissing.
That's when they piss on you.
Right, yeah,
He
I-
wants you to piss on her. Yeah.
The motherfucking nasty. Go
Jesus
ahead.
Christ.
That's disgusting. That's
No, a
pretty
threesome's
disgusting.
extreme. Threesome's extreme. So
That's
just
not
pee on
nasty,
it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Continue. So
Now, how does a man with his partner get her? And I don't want to use the word coerce. I don't want to use the word like force. I want to say, like, how does a man willingly get his partner to willingly agree to something he wants to try different in the bedroom?
well, with something like a golden shower, I don't think that there's I don't think there's any way of getting someone to try that.
I think if a woman love you, she'll do anything you wanted to do.
I agree, Ralph.
That's it.
I
I don't
just wanted
know.
to hear.
Really?
I doubt that.
Yes.
100%.
That's the
Link.
power that we have over you.
Link, can I bring something up or do you
I
mind?
disagree.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So if a gentleman, Christina, and I already know your mind about this is why I'm asking you. If a gentleman were to ask you, you're dating a guy for like a year, right? You're in love, you're in the honeymoon phase, and he says, you know what? There's something I always wanted to try with you. I want you to eat my ass. What would you say to that?
Hell no.
That man.
That's hell no. I'm not eating nobody booty.
Chris.
Ooh.
if-
Definitely not. No.
Man.
Like,
about that.
was
What?
that?
Wait,
Is that what you was greasing her up for? You savage.
Wait. So y'all are with this?
No.
No. I'm not saying that.
the
I'm just
booty
saying.
links?
I'm just saying if a woman loves a man, she'll do whatever.
I agree.
Sure.
I
Whatever.
disagree. I disagree. And I've been in love, and I'm not having nobody sprinkling me
You
in
ain't love him
piss.
that much. You ain't love him that much.
I'm not having anybody
He ain't
sprinkle
bullfuck
me
you like
in
that.
urine.
And
I'm
I'm not
sorry.
gonna swim in your excrement.
Like you're
And
savage.
I'm not licking no guys booty hole. I'm sorry.
And this is the problem with like, I think that's a problem with women. You know what I mean? I really think that's a problem.
Like, if you ask a girl to eat your ass and she says yes, does that? I mean, do you feel good about that? Like,
yeah, I feel good. And then I will feel
if she
great
says
later
yeah,
on.
so it doesn't bother you that either one, she's out here and she's just eating butts, or two, that she's so wild that she's just off what she's just like, yeah, let's do that.
Yo, I met girls that told me that they put on strap-ons for dudes.
No,
Yeah, you feel me? I swear, on God, I
Oh,
talked
but
to a
that's
lady.
too far.
Cause she,
that's-
listen, I talked to this girl because she came with some beads. She's like, yeah, you know, this is what we do. I said, sometimes I put on a strap on. I said, whoa.
I don't judge anybody.
Yeah,
but
I'm like, bro, let you put on a strap on and
Yeah.
you just you just sabotage his whole anal area. She was like, yeah.
Nah,
like,
that's-
so I said, you don't think he gay? She was like, nah. But you know, I
he
ain't like I
gay.
said, I ain't want to get into it because that's her, you know, her husband or whatever it was. But
Is her husband?
it's her husband, yeah.
Oh, wow.
She's in for a surprise.
Yeah, but Chris, I still feel like, let me take it, but let me retract. I think if a woman loves a man, she'll do almost anything. 'Cause
What
you know,
about the other way around? Does it work the other way around?
It should.
So okay, so
almost everything. Go ahead.
Because I was like,
Almost
damn, with
everything.
that same logic,
What were you
if your
gonna
girl
say?
wants to take a strap to you, you do it.
okay.
Why would
Or
she
if I
wanna
wanna
take a strap
kiss
to
on your
me?
forehead?
I don't know.
Is that all right?
First of all, her
Why do you
wanting
want to
put
pee on her? Like, I mean, why does anyone want to do anything?
I'm not gonna do anything to demasculate myself. Like I'm not gonna have her come in with a black dildo wrapped around her waist. But like, Are you ready, Daddy? It's not that type of party, but
Well,
you know,
like,
that's a bit like crossing lines. You feel me?
Do you feel like black men have to be too masculine? Like it holds us back from certain things? Because I mean, the whole ass eating thing is not like the most masculine thing that you're gonna do today.
Everybody got their ass licked.
Why isn't it?
Nah.
Reggie, you never got your
No.
Reggie.
Reg, you gotta live a little, bro.
No, I'm good. If that's life, I'm all right.
You know, some men don't do it because they don't feel clean. Let's just say what it is.
I'm just not comfortable.
You don't think you wipe right.
No, I'm just not comfortable.
You don't wipe.
I'm a very clean person. I'm just not comfortable.
I disagree. I think your
I'm just not
hands.
comfortable. I'm just not comfortable with it.
No, because
Everybody's into their own thing.
I knew a
You know
girl.
what I mean?
I knew a girl. She was like, I don't let guys do that. And she just went into it. She said it. That was why. She said, I go in the bathroom. If they try, if I get the idea that he's going to try it, I'll be in the shower and I'll use rubbing alcohol. I'm like, God damn. That's how insecure she is with her ass.
So,
I mean, it
So,
is
Ralph,
an act.
No, I had sex. Whatever that entails.
I don't know.
Wait, what?
I don't know what that means. I don't know what
I
that
had
means.
sex.
No, you said like everyone's done it, and I think you just said that.
I mean, you know,
I think you just said that.
I had sex.
This, I mean,
I had
listen.
sex.
Okay, we
I
get
had
it.
sex.
All right.
That's right, Ralph. Wave your freak flag, boy.
Say less. Say less. All right, say less.
Yeah.
That's a married man. The Bible said-
Oh, I didn't say Magda. I didn't say her.
Wow.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
So,
say Magda. What about you?
You just
Link?
confirmed it.
You got
Well,
you got licked down there before?
We're just gonna assume Link did everything.
Link wouldn't do a dildo straps though.
Nah, come on, bro.
Yeah, fuck out of here. They got
So you'll
got
bend.
hope.
So you'll bend over so she can eat your ass, but you won't
No,
bend over for the.
no.
That's where you draw the line.
That's the only way an ass can be eaten.
no.
No,
On
it's
the
not.
knees. You gotta be on your
If-
knees.
It's that or your legs in the air.
So you
You gotta be on your
telling me?
knees.
So you telling me not you, because you're a sister. I don't want to disrespect you, but you telling me you never seen a porno of a girl just going in on the nuts and then the tongue slip down there? That
Yeah,
never
her tongue
happened to
is
you.
crazy long. That doesn't even
That
make
never
sense.
happened to you.
No, your tongue can't reach. The only way a girl
From
can
the
eat your
balls
ass
to the
is
nut,
if
from
your
the ass?
legs
That's
in the
good.
air.
That's good
Nah.
fellatio.
That is a long
That's
tongue.
good.
Nah, that's a long
Fellatio.
tongue.
You're
The
right,
human
that's a long
anatomy,
tongue.
bro. I don't know what you know about the anatomy, but there's like
So you never
there's
got
your
your-
penis.
you
Wait,
never got your
there's your
taint
penis.
licked? You never got your taint
Wait. There's a
You know
penis.
the- you know the
yeah, I
taint
know
is, yeah.
that spot in between. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's the penis, the balls. Then you have your taint. Then you have So her tongue went from your balls, skipped your taint, and just went straight to asshole ball. Come on, like you're not gonna have me believe that shit. Like biology, like it's not possible.
You're right. You're right. Like these people
Yes,
are
it
not
is.
living.
Right.
So you guys just out here with your legs in the air. That's wild. No judgment.
We porn stars, baby.
No judgment.
We
It's
porn
all
stars.
good. It's all good.
Reggie don't do certain positions because he don't want to disrespect the girl. No. Let's do it the way God intended. I want to look you in your eyes.
So Chris,
Look away.
you breaking up? Like,
Yeah,
so
it's
Chris, do you
breaking
think 50 Cent is gay for Megan? What's her name? Victoria
Vivica.
Fox eating her
Vivica
ass,
Fox.
or
I didn't say it
Gabrielle
was
Union?
gay. I'm gonna say it's
Vivica
wild.
Fox.
Yeah,
50
and-
Cent says.
And
Yeah.
Gabrielle Union did it the way. Do you think you look
No,
at them funny?
I
Yeah.
don't think men
That
are
is
gay
gay.
if they are into that or if they have that
How do you
done.
look at the woman?
I don't look at the woman any type of way. If that's what they're into, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just it's
Are
not
you-
my thing.
So you
Yeah.
feel comfortable like if you went and you met a woman and you're like, oh hey, so you've done this before? And she's like, yeah, every dude.
You should never have to ask. Though.
every dude I met, like I just love you in ass.
Yeah.
Like,
You
that's
should. You
just-
should. I don't think you.
if she told you she loved you in ass, would you be comfortable with that?
Oh, that's a weird. Like it depends how she segue into it. I don't. You know what I mean?
It's like,
eat
I
ass.
love eating ass
I don't know.
because it's a gamble. Because if a man asks a woman, that's a gamble, and if a woman asks a man, it's a gamble.
Off
Who
rip,
brings that up first?
If she says that to me off rip like that, I'm looking like, all right, this girl ate a lot of ass.
yeah, because who says that?
Savage.
Right?
Exactly.
Like who just comes into the relationship like, by the way?
Yeah, Link. Do you ask her, or do you just like slowly put your legs in the air?
Yeah. I'm not telling you all my moves. You think you're slick. Reggie's taking notes. Nah, bro. Don't worry about it, buddy.
But let's double back a little bit. So at the end of the day, as far as that whole marriage thing, I think, like you said, it all comes down to values, beliefs, and how you were raised and how you look at marriage. You know what I mean? If you look at it like, you know what, I took this woman from her house, gave her my last name, separated her from her family, and started a whole new world with her.
What if she didn't
And
take
for
your last name?
And for some reason, either or, you still the principle, and theoretically, she's still with you. Not theoretically, she's literally with you. You took her from her family, you started a whole new life, and for some reason, you guys don't work out. Yeah, that's when the value comes into play. Do you feel like she owes?
Did you kidnap her from her family, or did you both leave your houses to come together?
She left the house and you agreed to take care of her and protect her and be her.
No, you agreed to take care of each other.
Yeah. Exactly. So you're saying that she should.
So in the same token, she took you away from your house.
Like I said, man, I think it's just an old rule, old law.
No, don't get me wrong. I grew up Haitian, so my mentality is the man is the breadwinner, the man's the man in the house, so on and so forth. Like, I mean, I have certain ideas of like the way a relationship works. And
if she helped me, yeah, she deserved to get half. She deserves it. If she helped me, yeah, 1,000%.
No, if she built the business for you, yeah. But I'm just saying, Kobe's wife doesn't know how to dribble. She's not. You know what I mean?
But she took care
I'm sure
of
they
it.
They didn't.
Yeah, but that she deserved
stuff outside of basketball.
$150 million.
We on the outside looking in. We don't know how much. We can't gauge that.
Do you feel it's fair, right? If me, you get married, right?
Talking to Mike.
All right, me, you get married, and then for whatever reason, we break up, right? Because that probably wasn't going to work in the first place. Because like whatever. So you get married, and it's like, this is not going to work. We're too different, and we go our separate ways. So we go to the courthouse, and then the judge is like, well, Chris gets half your stuff. All right, Your Honor, let her take half. So you get the house. I got to find a new place. You get half our assets, half the cash, so on and so forth. Then the judge is like, well, actually, your lawyer's probably going to push you to do it. And he's going to be like, Chris, well, you need child support. He needs to help out with the kids. That's fair. These are both your children. Cool. Right. Now we go into alimony. Well, you do need to help her out until her next marriage. Until she gets married, you basically have to supplement her income. Okay, I mean, that's fair, but it's sort of like a welfare coming from me. And if I don't pay you and supplement your income till you die, I could go to jail.
I don't necessarily. You know what we need on the show next time? Anyway.
We need a divorce lawyer on the show next time. I think I know a guy, and they'll break the logistics. Huh?
He'll clear it up.
Yeah, he'll break down, because we could just, like I said, everything here it's like almost like a religious argument. If you're Muslim and I'm Catholic and she Christian, we could just argue all day long, because we need somebody logistic.
Did anyone here watch Smallville? You know that show,
I used to watch
Smallville?
Yeah, I've seen that.
You know the dad from Smallville's in jail right now because he didn't pay his wife alimony?
You're probably older.
Yeah.
Pay like you weigh, bro. Pay like you weigh. All right, we're going to wrap
Chris.
it up. Go ahead,
No, Chris had a thought.
Oh, no, I was just saying, I mean, this all sounds good, marriage being a business deal or whatever. But if you look at it like that, then everything is a business. Your career, you having children, you like your whole entire life is pretty much a business deal. And it sounds all good, but once you actually get into a marriage and find someone that you want to be with and you marry them, all this talk about business deals and alimony and all that stuff, usually the man, once he gets into a marriage, becomes the protector and the provider. I think it's more of an unconscious thing than just looking at things as for what they are, as facts, business deal, you know? And like Ralph was saying, I think it's more of a mental, spiritual thing. Psychological thing. It's almost like I got to do the right thing, you know? So it sounds good when you're saying, oh, business deal, this, business deal, that. But once you actually get into the situation, all that kind of.
But then when we break up, it kind of fucked up my next marriage because I'm still taking care of my ex-wife. Now I got to take care of my new wife.
The whole point is not to break up. That's what.
But I mean,
exactly, it's a gamble.
So that's like saying,
no, it is.
In some states, she can cheat on you, and she can still end up with half.
Well, I mean, let's not move there.
Let's not live in that place.
Let's not live in that place. You know what I mean? But
like, if you find out that your child's in some places, if you find out the child's not yours, just because you've been caring for it for a certain period of time, like they might deem you still responsible for that child.
I've heard that.
Because some people living with girls. Let's talk like adults here. Some people live with women, and in their mind, mentally, they're still single, and like they outrun it. Like if you know, like my family's dependent on me, like not even just financially, but just mentally. Like my kids have to see me in the morning. My daughter needs to see me in the morning making breakfast with her mother. that does something to her soul to live out the rest of the day the way she should, then that's gonna make me want to come home early, make sure I wake up with her. You know what I mean? But if in my mind, I look at it like we're just living together, and my old lady could just take care of that, because I'm busy killing this shit. You feel me?
But then we're putting all the responsibility again in the hands of a man.
It should be. That's exactly
no,
how
it's
it
not,
should be.
because you're dealing with two people. Because you could do everything right, and she could be on some fuck you shit. So what if you get home because you came home early because you want to cook breakfast, but she's not there?
That shouldn't be somebody.
Not everything,
Yeah.
but I'm saying not everything is on you. People change after marriage. People change after money. There was an Indian couple that was married for like 30 years. He won the lottery. She killed him.
But that's
a
I'm saying it's an extreme case.
I feel like we're talking about
I'm
apples
just saying,
and oranges.
no, I'm
now,
not. I'm
bro.
saying it's an extreme case. But how
Let's
many
talk
people?
about average. We want to talk about like
How many people did you date that you thought that you was gonna spend the rest of your life with? Shit changes.
One.
Shit changes. Exactly. Shit changes. Like you get into a relationship, and of course you're gonna think you're gonna spend forever with this
But that
person,
doesn't
but shit
mean.
changes
But that
over
doesn't
time.
mean you should sit there and just like gauge or set your moves
No.
as if like, you know what, we might fall out.
I'm in
Exactly.
a relationship.
Then you already
and
setting
I
yourself up
wanted,
for failure.
No, I'm in a relationship and I want it to work out, right? But that if we're talking about that, then there's no point in prenup, because it's like, well, we're not thinking about if it ends up messed up. We're just in it for the long haul. But you never know.
No. First of all, me and Link had this conversation. Marriage is a faulty technology. Anything like this bottle, anything that makes something easier is a technology. This bottle's a technology. This phone is a technology. This table is a technology because it aids you to hold food up to eat. So marriage is a technology. That's what I heard the divorce lawyer say. So, but it's faulty. Like 75% of marriages break up. Don't work. And if you add in the people that are still together because of religious reasons, or the kids, that's another maybe 20%.
Some people get married
So you're looking at like round about 80. Then you're talking about the people who are still together because of religion. That's another
Yeah,
5%.
They can't. Some
So-
people can't afford to break up.
so that if we're adding all that, you're looking at probably a 85 to 90% faulty technology. So I say that to agree with you. Yes, it is. Especially this day and age with the fast pace, we're distracted. People don't even talk. People don't even sit down and have dinner. People don't even sit at a table and have homework with their kids while they're just sitting there handling their business anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, if you go into it with that mindset, then it's gonna happen.
I think they
'Cause
should
people
flip it.
giving up. When you go, not to cut you off, when people get into it with that mindset that it's faulty, then they're gonna give up. And they're not even gonna try to be like, you know what, I know this shit was bullshit. Not even gonna get a third party in to help out. Not even gonna get a therapist or a religious pastor, somebody, whatever the fuck you believe in. They're just gonna give up.
If I go into anything knowing that it's going to be difficult, I process it different. Like if you go into like, you know, people you put onto a business and you're like, nah, this is easy money. When they realize it's not easy, they're going to drop out. If I go into something I know it's going to be hard from jump, then I'm going in with the mindset that I'm doing work. This is something that you have to build and work at. I think they should flip the way marriage works. Because right now, it's easy to get married and it's hard to get divorced. I think they should make it really hard to get married and easy to get divorced. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you make it hard and challenging to get married, the only people that get married are the people that really, really
can agree
want to
with
be
that.
married with somebody.
Just like
Yeah, I like that
entrepreneurship.
idea. I can
You
get
know,
down
some
with that.
cultures, that's how they operate.
I think you need to like
You gotta
they need
meet
to
their parents.
require you
Yeah.
have to lock these two people in a room together for like a week or some shit. And if you walk out of that, like I forget the quote I really liked, and you're gonna like this because Chris is like the travel guru. And Bill Murray said to a man he was about to go travel and he was engaged or something, and Bill Murray's like a spiritual, I don't know, he just pops up places. And Bill Murray said, if you can go somewhere with your partner that's difficult to get into and difficult to get out of as a travel destination, if you can basically travel with this person to a difficult destination, work through the whole trip and get back, and you still want to be with this person, marry them.
Right.
If you could basically sit with this person through a heart-wrenching type of experience, if you could like work through different hardships together, if you could work through different hardships together, yeah, marry that person. But that's not how we look at marriage now. I think what's dangerous about the way a lot of people process marriage is the romanticizing of it, the fairy tale.
The lust, the honeymoon stage.
The
And
honeymoon
Can I
stage,
chime in on something that Chris
Yeah, go
said? Because you said you don't agree with the whole business aspect of marriage, but I agree with you. That's not the only thing. It's amongst other things. But the thing is, you can't ignore the business part of it, because if you even Google it right now, marriages that are business arranged, like my family, like Indians or whatever religion, I'm gonna marry. You're gonna marry my daughter, so our land can come to. Arranged marriages last way longer.
Right.
That's
I
crazy.
heard that.
You
Yeah.
know why?
Why do you think
Because
that is?
the two reasons why marriages break up, because of infidelity or finances. At the end of the day, that's why I said it is business amongst other things, because if the finances aren't straight, it makes it like dramatizes everything fucking else. You feel me? But when your money not straight, so how do you make sure your money's straight? You guys make sure your credit is together. You guys make sure, you have a savings. Maybe I have a savings. We both work. We come together. We budget. That's business. You understand what I'm saying? Like we have a tax
We come
ID.
together. We form a
We come
corporation,
together. So
yeah.
it is, you know what I mean? But that's not the only thing. Of course, it's just one of the pillars. Business is one of the biggest pillars, but it's business,
Sex.
love, religion.
Okay.
If you ever pay attention to marriages that have two different religions, that's two different morality. The parameters are different. I don't want my kids to go to the Halloween party. I don't believe in that. Well, what do you mean? I'm Catholic. We did Halloween parties, but I'm Muslim. You know what I'm saying? And it's a little tension there. And then your money fucked up on top of that, it's over.
I think you just go with the mom's religion till the kids choose for themselves.
What? I don't want to get in. That's another rabbit hole.
Oh, okay. Because I'm Christian and my son's father is Muslim.
Yeah.
And he grew up in the church.
Yeah.
Seventh Day. However, when he's with his father, his father does teach him Islam and Arabic or whatever, how to pray and certain things. Yeah. And when I ask Christian, because he's not old enough to understand all the details of Christianity versus Islam, but he's old enough to understand that there's a difference. And when I ask him, and he's 9, by the way, what are you? What's your religion? And I never try to force my religion on him. And he'll say Christian, but then he'll also say, but I like going to the mosque. I like going to the masjid, and I'm okay with that. That's great that you're learning two religions. And as he gets older, then he can choose. Like you said, he can choose whatever he wants.
That's dope.
Right.
That's dope.
I think it's money and then sex.
How do you think it would be if both you guys were together? You think it'd be easy? You think it'd be conflicting, easy?
I think that all depends on the personality.
Right.
I'm a very easygoing person. I don't really discriminate against other religions. I don't feel like my religion is better because honestly, we don't know. We wasn't alive back, even the Bible now or the Quran, we don't know how many times that's been changed, or the original writings from 2018 version, the Bible and all those historical books has probably been added to, and in conversion to English, I'm sure it maybe be a whole totally different meaning of what it really. You see what I'm saying?
And I agree with you too. I agree with you to a point, only because if it's two people, because even me, I'm Christian, but I'm not a cuckoo for Jesus type of guy. You understand what I mean? But I'm talking about two devout people. They take it very serious. Let's take the cuckoo out. That sounds offensive, but just really serious. Almost listen, I die by this.
Right.
I die by, and they
Extremists.
together in the house. Yeah, it's not going. You know what I mean? Because then you got proms, you got birthday parties.
But then why are y'all in the house together then?
Pete, that's my point.
Why
Why
did they even take it to that level?
Because they loved each other outside of religion. But that's my point. People with two different religions break up. You know what I mean?
I think you meet a middle ground where it's okay, well, I respect your religion, you respect mine. If we have kids, then we sort of just split the difference. But I think, statistically, I
don't think that works statistically.
When I read it, it was basically number one reason for marriage is money.
Right.
Reason for divorce. The second reason is basically I think sex.
Infidelity. Okay.
And
infidelity.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think it was infidelity on top of sexual incompatibility. Because I think as much as the romance works, if you felt like you weren't happy with a man in that department, could you stay with him?
We wouldn't even have gotten married.
We
wouldn't even take it that far. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these signs you see in the dating phases before. Most people don't just jump into a marriage, even though most people, people want to. Well, most women, but most people don't just jump into a marriage. They're dating for a few years.
Some people don't have sex before marriage. So I think sometimes
most people do though. Even the ones that say they didn't. They have.
So if your partner like had like a horrific accident and then his penis was chopped off, could you stay with him?
And after we were married,
Yeah.
yeah. I would
that
stay
side-
with him.
that side was serious.
That was honest. That was honest.
I would
yeah.
if I'm with my husband, I love him, and if he had an unfortunate accident like that, then yes, I would definitely stay with him. However, I would like to think that he would come to me and be like, listen, babe, I know.
Yikes!
I know down there,
Yikes.
would you like, to maybe see, other. Listen.
So he's cool. You coming home yoked?
Listen, what woman, honestly, because
He's gonna tell you he doesn't want you to cheat on him.
he's gonna tell me that.
Yeah, because what man, like, even if your penis got chopped
we're gonna
off,
have
wants
to figure it out.
watch his wife come
We're
home
gonna have
like,
to. Well, maybe he's gonna have to get that dildo because we're gonna have to.
Go ahead.
Damn.
Link. What you saying, Link?
damn, you're sounding real negotiating right now. You sound like a business person. We're gonna have to negotiate.
Go ahead, Link. What you say?
You would do it how lesbians do it. You guys
Okay, exactly. Get that strap. All right. Now, but let's say it's super severe where he can't like use
She
his
didn't even
hips
go to
or
strap
can't
first.
use his
She
leg,
was
like
like-
can't use if he's just like a vegetable, like he's just there and he's just
Nah, he just
alert.
lost his penis, but you didn't go to. We just go figure it out
but
together. You went to. Well, he's just gonna have to let me out the house.
But you see what I was talking
You
about.
just said that the second most popular thing was
Yeah.
sex, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But
well,
you see why I was mentioning that's why religion and spirituality come into play for things like that. Because the thing that'll keep you from not is flesh wise you're gonna want to do what you do, but that's when your faith and your moral and your integrity comes into play.
your strength,
You
boy.
feel, yeah, it really is. That's because look, he needs you because you never know that you going out doing what you do, that might have been the final blow to take him out of here. Like that's just I wasn't even trying to
Like
be
kill
funny.
himself?
Just whatever. It's almost like I lost my manhood. Now my wife. I saw a video of her getting rashed on. Look, I'm going in the kitchen. I'm rolling in the kitchen. It's over. You got it.
Did you just say you're rolling in the kitchen?
I'm a roll. If I can't roll, I'm rolling in the kitchen. You understand what I'm saying? But that's when faith comes into play. Like you said, if you guys make an arrangement, like listen, maybe you could go see Timmy from down the street. I heard he's pretty hung. But whatever he decide, whatever you guys decide, you got to rock with it. You know what I mean? You got to rock with it. But that's the point. Till sick or poor, to death do you part. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? But
That's a fantasy.
yeah,
To death do you part was made up back when people's life expectancy was like 30 years. But now, if you get married in your 30s, you're going to spend more time married than single during your lifetime.
it's harder.
Doesn't matter.
So our life expectancy goes longer and longer. So now you're basically with this person for like maybe 60, 70 years.
Yeah.
Right.
So like that's forever
It's
now.
a lot
till
more
death
chance
do you
to
part.
break up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Basically.
a lot more chance.
So when someone tells me my opinion on marriage is different, when someone tells me, well, they were only married 15 years, that's a failure. No, I don't see that as a failure. I think they went through their journey. They made it at that 10-year mark, which is a very long time, and they evolved as people. Sometimes when the two
I
people
agree.
that get
People
into
grow.
a relationship together aren't the two people that end up on the other side. When I
agree.
first entered my relationship, I was a different person.
You know what? Remember that divorce law I was listening to? I love what he said. He was like, first of all, marriage is faulty by 80%. We all agree on that. It's a faulty technology, like he said. And he also mentioned, what makes it harder for men, especially us? We don't have anything to compare it to. Like, we don't know what's good or what isn't good, how much sex is too much sex, how much little sex. We don't know, because we're so manly, men don't like to talk about their private, what's going on. So the fact that we don't talk about it, we don't know if we're doing good or bad or not.
What's too much sex?
That's what I'm saying. But we'll get there. We don't know if we're doing good or bad. We don't know if am I initiating too much? Am I not initiating? Are we gonna beat the kids, discipline the kids? Or are we just gonna be one of the time out in the
why
corner?
is it-
So he was saying his point was what would help out a lot is when two people meet each other, aside from the honeymoon stage, you have to try your best to start having real conversations like, hey, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Do you plan on staying at your job? Do you want to own a business? How's your credit situation? Do you plan on fixing it? How many kids do you want? Are you the type of person, can you go to sleep at night with dishes in the sink or washing it in the morning? These are
Damn
serious.
sure can. It's true. Those little
Do you
pet
take-
peeves, boy.
That's what I'm saying.
Them
That's the
little,
point.
me and dishes.
Yeah.
That's
Them
my
little pet, yeah.
That's my point.
it's
Hey,
true.
I need you to initiate sex 3 more times than me, or whatever it is. I need it at least 2 times a week. What's too much for you? What's too little for you?
How far? Like, I mean, I feel like that's the conversation you have. How? At what point in the relationship do you have that conversation?
At what
In the
point?
fucking beginning, before you get married, that's what he's trying to say. Nobody's having this
No,
conversation.
but no one's
People
having
are
that
jumping
in
into
the
it.
beginning.
That's what
I
he's
think
saying.
once both parties know that this is something
Maybe
that
a
they
year
want.
in.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
getting
I mean,
serious,
not
let's
on the
sit down.
first, second, or third date, but
Because I'm out of here. If you ask me those questions on the first
yeah.
date,
The interviewer asked him, "What do you think would help out?" Because he's seen thousands of couples. He said that's the because he knows why they're breaking up because he's there in the room watching the infidelity. He's hearing it, so he says like, you know what? If some of these conversations were had in the beginning and people would stop getting so lost in the just love struck stage, in the lust honeymoon stage they call it, then you kind of would know like, you know what? This motherfucker could go to sleep with dishes in the sink. That's a nasty motherfucker. I can't be with him. You feel me?
dating now at this point in my life, if a woman were to ask me my credit score, I'd actually be into that.
Yeah.
Back then,
'Cause you know better.
Yeah,
You're
because
old
I know
enough.
better now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back then it's kind of like whoa.
Then you had no business trying to
Yeah.
get married. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. It's that,
But at this stage of my life, yeah.
Nah, that makes total sense. Like, 'cause me and her were just talking. We got a kid on the way. We never had a conversation because we grew up Haitian where I got beat. Am I gonna beat my daughter? That's a good convo. Let's say the baby's 2 and I kind of just strike
I
the
have
baby on the
girls.
hand. Yeah.
I don't hit babies because I think nothing against the way our parents raised us
Right.
and everything, but I think discipline is about acknowledging what you did is wrong. So if the baby's too young to process that what they did is wrong, it's abuse.
So
because you're just hitting them,
So that's
they
my-
don't understand.
That's
But
my
what
point.
about
These are-
hitting them when they're not babies, when they're 5 and 6? Is that okay?
Okay, yeah, but if it depends because right now I have daughters. First of all, I barely ever like hit them or anything like that.
Right.
Now, I will not hit them when I'm angry. So if I'm upset at something they did, I tell them to like, listen, go lay down because daddy's pissed because I feel like when you hit a kid out of anger, that's a whole different ball game.
But you see what you guys just did there? You see what you guys just did there? That's the type of conversation people need to have before. Because imagine if you guys were having this deep in the relationship and you guys were in agreement. That's a friction right there. So now every time the daughter does something, Reggie might, strike her. You might feel a way about that. Or she
Yeah,
may strike her,
I
you may
agree.
feel a way.
If I saw
and that
a
causes,
woman savagely beat a kid, that's wrong.
causes tension. So the point, just to tie back to my point, these conversations need to be had, especially to help this faulty technology. And I love when he said that. That's how you can help this faulty technology. Nobody's doing it. Nobody knows what's wrong. Like me, I didn't even know like how much sex is too much a week or too little. You think twice a week is too little? You think
Listen,
every day?
it depends on the person. Okay, now if
You
with that-
personally. This is
if you
interesting.
are with that right person as a woman, we can have sex every day, and it's
What
if you found that person that pleases you that so well in the sexual department, we can have sex every day.
What if he thinks that's too much?
if he thinks that's too much,
he
then
thinks twice because he let's say he does jiu-jitsu, so his energy level is super low. He needs it for whatever he does. He thinks once a week is okay.
once a week.
You see? Do you see my point? You see your reaction?
But what if that once
That's-
a week is spectacular?
Hey, that's why it shouldn't be once a week.
Let's not get away from the point. That's my point.
It's spectacular.
You
We
see,
want
your
it.
you see a reaction
Can women
there?
have sex every day?
Who?
Can women have sex every day?
You see what I'm talking
Because
about?
am
You see where I'm going with this?
No, I'm
Why
just
would you
saying.
ask that?
I'm saying in my relationship, like usually the following day, she's like, "Oh, listen, I'm a little sore from the day before." Like,
Oh,
Listen,
Reggie.
a woman can have sex every day.
no, I'm not saying
Yeah,
like.
like
I'm
that,
just
yeah.
if
saying
he's
like.
if she's with the right person.
Maybe I'm ODing.
But look,
Maybe I'm wilding, but-
listen to my point. You see how you reacted? What if to him, like that was a sign sealed? Like, listen, I'm not having sex more than once a week because I do what extracurricular activities and I don't want to.
Well, if that was the real reasons and I'm in love with him, then once a week it is, I guess.
What if he splits the difference?
So you see,
Just
so
go
there you
down
go.
on
Yeah.
her.
So look, you in agreement. So
I'm in
now
agreement
you
with
and I
that.
can move forward. We handle that. So now in the future, you be like, honey, we talked about this, and it's an understanding. But if you just get into it, y'all never had that convo. That shit get brought up. Y'all
I
deep in the.
disagree with that because sometimes you'll have an agreement up front, but then over time the agreement doesn't work
It's
for
not
you anymore.
foolproof, Reg, but it just helps.
No,
You
I get what
understand?
you're saying.
It's like
No,
you're
you're
going
right.
in
It
there
helps.
you're going in there with a playbook at least.
Because she's like, okay, yeah, I understand once a week. I'm cool with that. And then like, you know, as time goes on, she's like, all right, this once a week shit is not really working.
Right,
out
you're
for me.
going in there
And
with a
then
playbook.
at that point, I guess we will have a conversation and see. But
Split the difference.
like, it's no perfection in anything in marriage and whatever. There's
Agreed.
So
It's the same
we
thing.
can't try to.
It's the
figure
same
it out
thing with study
100%.
guides or school curriculum or whatever it is. You just can't go into something just blindly. That's
just
the
has
point.
to click.
It needs something, because you know why? That's why they say write your plans down, because you're gonna hit a block. If you don't have your plans written down, you won't fucking know like what to do. Because once it happens, you're in the middle of, you like, oh shit, well, I'm lost. But if you got that, like, you know, your little rule or your plan right there, you could always revert back to it. It's the same thing with marriage in a way. It's like, all right, well, you know what? I'm a little lost right now. Look, she could be like, why is he not having sex with me? He's cheating.
That's true.
But they had that convo fucking 3 years ago, and she remember, no, he does do jiu-jitsu. I just don't pay attention. He's not cheating. So
But he can also use that as an excuse and be cheating.
See, you know what's crazy? I was in Christina's head because I know how you process it. I was
But
just
that's a
Christina's
like,
gonna be
remember,
like,
babe, I told you 3 years ago though that this is.
Christina was like,
I'm just
that's an
like,
excuse.
but that's all. That's
I
like,
see- I
that's,
see through you.
That's exception. That's exception. But the whole point is, you know what I mean? It's just you got to have something. So, but we're gonna conclude it right there because we almost had an hour. That was a good conversation. Hey, Lank, thanks for nothing. He hung up a while ago.
So yeah.
Talk to me good. Talk to me right. Talk to me nice.